For the last 24 years, my wife Beverly and I have trained and provided resources for children's workers in a number of restricted access nations of Asia. The countries we mainly work in are Bangladesh, Vietnam, Myanmar, Cambodia, and Northeast India. But we've done other work in China particularly, and Nepal. The curriculum we publish covers 400 lessons for 8 years of discipleship material. So our ministry has taken us to many places, and we've done hundreds, literally, of training seminars. Our call to missions came despite the fact that we were not part of a mission-minded church. In fact, we were joining with others to plant a Christian community. Our focus being that we, if we lived in unity, would demonstrate the love of Christ, and people would be drawn to him, as Jesus said in John 17. So we went to live for a while in a Christian community, and the people there had a connection to missions, strong connection for those in China. And strangely enough, we had this desire come from nowhere to be involved with Chinese children. And we had a photo on our fridge, but we had no idea what that would work out to be. And from that time on, we were open to the concept of missions overseas. And that was confirmed in many different ways, particularly one time in Korea at a conference where the Lord led me to go and pray, and I was praying and saying, Lord, just show me what you want. I'll do anything that you want. And he replied, strangely enough, with a question, a statement. Show me what you want, Peter. And out of my belly, so to speak, just came an answer, oh Lord, give me 100,000 children. And I knew at that moment, that's what I wanted, and his desires were my desires. And so we started our children's ministry into Asia. We've had many highlights in our ministry over the years. For example, seeing the curriculum used in over 3,000 churches in different countries. Evangelism programs by our teams where hundreds of kids have come to Christ. But I guess one highlight that I'd like to mention was our time in China, where we met with leaders of major house church movements who are responsible for over 50 million Christians. And that led to us trying to assist them in their request for children's ministry training and material. We worked with a team that they put together, trained them over 2 years, and that resulted in 10,000 workers being trained over a period of 2 years, and that material is still being used for training in China. But the privilege of meeting with those leaders who had suffered persecution and difficulties and had seen God working miraculously to build his church was very inspirational. We learned a lot through that experience. We've had, obviously, challenges along the way. For example, cultural challenges where we've had misunderstandings, where I've had too high expectations of what could be accomplished, and really try to overcome those with an attitude of humility and patience, and asking for forgiveness more than once when working with folks from another culture and trying to serve them as best we could. I've had significant health challenges. People have suggested strongly that I return from the mission field when we were in Hong Kong, and we just took it to God and said, whatever you want, we'll follow. And he gave us clear direction to persevere and stay on. And we've had 15 years of very fruitful, trouble-free ministry in many countries where things were tough physically. But he has given us the health that I have needed through those years. Missions for me is about acting out the compassion we feel for the needy. Jesus did that. And we see many needs, and we should act upon them. So every Christian can be in some sort of mission, but particularly I believe we need to focus on the eternal perspective, reaching out to those who don't have the opportunity to hear the gospel in unreached people groups, least reached people groups, places where poverty hinders their access to church. My personal heart towards children, that's revealed in wanting to do more for their physical needs. I see so many and I get frustrated that I can't do more. And God encouraged me one day and said, Peter, don't forget, those who don't know me are spiritually deprived. They may not be deprived from food, but just as much they need me. A few words of advice. Go humbly. Check your motivation, that you're not going to succeed at something, but you're going to serve for the glory of God. Secondly, go to learn. We may have more knowledge than those we're going to minister to, but they often have far more life experience than we do. Christians who've suffered under persecution or deprivation, they had to really trust in faith that God would look after them. We can learn so much from them, and that's been my experience. And go to serve. Serve. Not only to accomplish your vision or to get others to help you to do that, but look to serve others' vision and their needs and meet genuine needs. And lastly, go gratefully. What a huge privilege to be able to give our lives full time to the service of the King for his purpose of extending the kingdom throughout the world, the greatest enterprise ever undertaken and the most important one.